Right. Morning, everyone. Let's get started. Okay. All right. Last night we saw a bit of a pullback correction in U.S. equity markets for the first time in forever. I mean, it wasn't that significant. We did about 0.5% on the Dow, closer to 0.75% on the S&P. Stocks reverse gains really with the VIX in energy counters trading higher. Obviously, we've had some turmoil in Thailand and the Ukraine, but I don't think that's been the catalyst. I think really what the catalyst was last night was two things. Minutes from the FOMC, and then also we had the IMF. It was also out last night with a little bit of bearish commentary, basically saying that they're worried about deflation being an issue, that developed markets need to keep their foot on the stimulus gas pedal. Then you had the FOMC, which came out and saying that they're having a bit of a argument over what the issue is with the unemployment rate and the people leaving the participating in the jobs market, and what's kind of causing that. So I think, but what was reiterated was the fact that they will continue to taper unless they see something dramatic in the jobs market. So bottom line is, I think that combined with the IMF statements got the markets to sell off somewhat. Nothing scary, obviously. But coming off the top a little bit. All right, so we had Sibanye Gold, which is out this morning with a nice beat versus previous expectations. I'm not 100% sure on the trading statement. What's really impressive is really the divvy. I mean, they're paying 75 cents a share. That's a solid divvy. And EPS at 355. It obviously puts them as by miles the cheapest mining stock on our index. So they continue to be able to stretch the legs a little bit here. We also have had them, in the past few days, come out and say that that the reserves are significantly higher. So you can see there that the net debt was reduced to 499 million rand from 1.9 billion. That's supposed to be, I think. All-in costs were down 10% to 336,000 rand per kilogram. Also very significant. So you can see that these guys, one of the things, they had some loan facilities that they had to pay off. They've been paying those off at a hell of a rate. So I think the divvy payout can probably continue to get bigger with Sibanye if they can continue to generate that kind of cash. Right. MTN also out with a trading statement this morning saying that headline earnings per share are going to be between 25 and 30% higher. Expectation was for 22.2%. So that's a nice beat. Obviously, a big part of that was because of forex gains. They're saying that the earnings were affected positively by 1.1 billion rand from the forex adjustment. So, very important move. Obviously, somebody got wind of that yesterday, and that's why they came and jacked MTN up yesterday afternoon. But we'll show that chart in a little bit. Okay, today we've got Discovery. We're looking to come out. Truworths, we're expecting to come out. And then later today in the States, we've got Walmart and Hewlett Packard. All right, market data out. Today we had the Japanese trade balance, which was slightly lower than expected. The Chinese HSBC market PMI numbers lower than expected. I'm surprised that we didn't get a little bit of a sell-off in China on the back of that. We've also got a lot of numbers coming out in France, PMI numbers across the board, CPI numbers. We've got the same thing in Germany, and the entire Eurozone is going to give us PMI services and manufacturing numbers. Then later in the States, we've got CPI year on year. We've got initial jobless claims, a fully fed business outlook, consumer confidence, and leading index numbers. So we've got a lot of data on the cards for the day today. So keep that in mind. I think we could see some swings on the back of some of those things. All right, let's get into the maps. All right, first thing I'm going to look at is futures. And you can see here this morning we've pulled back a little bit off the top, still holding above previous closing highs, and really we broke out yesterday in quite spectacular fashion. If we zoom it forward a little bit, not spectacular, but significant. We're looking for something around kind of 25,050 as really where this thing could possibly build out from. Obviously, the rand got decimated last night, and we've got some real support that came in, I think, for the index because of it. Otherwise, we probably would have opened down significantly lower than we have. But bottom line is we've broken out to all-time highs yesterday on a closing basis in the Aussie, and unless we give up to 25,500 and relatively quickly, 42,550, then I think that we're going to continue to push higher if we don't give up that level pretty soon. All right. Let's have a look at Sasol. Sasol yesterday making a big push back into highs of the year. It may even be all-time highs. I'm not 100% sure. At 560. You can see there what's interesting about this chart is these are the kind of charts that can very often look like end up being double tops. And the reason why I say that is because you can see here in January this move that we had from 560 came in a one-day move. We opened up down around 543. We pushed all the way to 560, and then very quickly in about 8 or 9 sessions we were back down to 520. Once again, you can see here we moved from 543 in the morning all the way to 560. So we get these two long big green wicks to really take us up to 560. It's not building into that number where we have a few closes around 550 or 555. And because we get this longer spike, it's obviously easier to have a significant pullback off that level. So just be careful this morning and watch it closely. If we can't see this thing consolidate a little bit below 560 over the next couple of days, then we may be looking at a pullback back to 520. All right, Kumba yesterday again failed this 460 level. This marks maybe the 10th or 12th time over the last month that we've tried to break out above 460. Still couldn't do it. So right now we're still waiting in limbo to see what's going to happen. Whether or not we're going to be able to break out to the upside, or whether we're going to drop support here closer to 440. So we'll keep you posted on that. I think what was interesting is that we had the Chinese came out yesterday saying that stockpiles of iron ore are at a 4-year high there, which is obviously quite bearish for Kumba. We've had the price of iron ore that's already fallen about 7% this month, and if we can't punch through the upside here, I think we may end up giving it through to the downside. All right. Next one is MTN. MTN had that huge rally into the close yesterday, as you can see here. Let's just take this from closing highs. You can see we also closed up in the high 275, 290, wherever we closed back in the beginning of the month. And we've just kind of been in a sideways consolidation range from about, call it 194 is really where the meat of the trading, all the way up to 199.50. We did get another nice close yesterday. Obviously, with this trading statement, we're expecting this thing to go higher this morning, and on the back of it going higher, it would obviously be breaking out of this trading range. What we're going to look at here is a move from 194 to, call it, 201. That's going to give us a target of about $7 higher, which takes us very quickly to 208, which I don't think is any coincidence. It was really where the support of the previous trading range up around 220 to 208 was. So keep that in mind. We may come up and sort of test resistance at those levels where we really dropped out from before, just below 210 on MTM. All right, Bidvest. Bidvest, you can see here, is making a little bit of a wedge formation, a little maybe descending triangle. That's kind of setting up to really break lower. It really just looks a little bit like a bear flag as well. So bottom line is, I think if we drop below, if we can push a little bit below 240 on a closing basis in Bidvest, that we may see a move, a little continuation of the recent trend, and a move lower. Obviously, markets are open. We've opened lower this morning. We're pushing down a little bit. We'll have to see how far down we can get. All right, and then the last one I'm going to show is Anglo Gold in the States. I know it's hard to see there. We're looking at a year chart there. I'm going to zoom it forward, greatly forward, and obviously you can see we've had this run from 1150 in the U.S. all the way up to last night. I think we traded to 1780. But what's important, if you look at the wick there, we traded to a high going all the way back to, let's just back it up a little bit. We traded to a new high in Anglo Gold going all the way back to, all the way back to June, okay, in the States. And we traded to that high intraday. We made a huge reversal off of that level, and we closed below the previous day's low. So that's a key reversal for us. It's one of my favorite technical indicators. I think there's a very good chance that Anglo Gold at least pulls back to maybe where we broke out here, closer to $15, which is significant from here. That's about 20 rand a downside potentially in Anglo Gold, and they've had a hell of a run. Remember, this stock was trading at $11. It's traded up to 1750 or 1770 last night. We're talking about almost 60% of upside that we've seen in Anglo Gold over the past, and that's literally happened since January. So we've had a 60% run, and what if you go back a little bit longer term has been a huge downward trend in Anglo Gold. So I think as of last night, because of last night's action, it may be time to give these things in size. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.